Good morning and welcome back to my channel. If you're wanting to build your glutes in 2026, then make sure to watch this video as I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your leg days to ensure that we grow our glutes, okay? And you're probably thinking, why should I listen to you? Well, my glutes went from this to this, and now this is not me saying that this happened overnight or through one workout. This has took a lot of graft, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of progressive overload, a lot of food, and obviously with me being tall, it's taken a lot longer than someone that is a little bit smaller. But I'm just trying to show you, if you structure your leg days properly and you work well and you train like you want to grow your glutes and you don't train like a wet lettuce, you will grow your glutes, okay? So let's head into the gym and I'm going to show you and talk you through each movement of how, why, and just give you a few more tips on how to actually build your glutes. So let's go.
First thing we're going to do is start off with a warm-up. Now, this is essential. Specifically, if you've been sat down all day, we want to make sure that we are actually warming up the glutes, the hips, the abductors, just to ensure that obviously when we're doing certain exercises, we're not going to pull through the lower back. So all I do is I just do 10 squats with the band on, because again, that adds a little bit more intensity. And then I go into crab walks. So again, trying to do 10 of these. Oh God, that burns so much. And then we're gonna go into side leg raises. So again, 10 of these on each side. Okay, then we're gonna do some glute bridges. So again, forcing them knees out. Okay. Next, I'm doing some hip rotations. As you can see, all the movements that I'm doing, they're called dynamic movements. So it basically means that before our workout, we want to do all our warm up as like moving exercises, just to get the blood flowing, get the legs moving a little bit. So again, we're gonna do 10 of them. And then our last one is gonna be hip flexors. So going into your hip flexor, bringing it back into a hamstring stretch. Back into your hip flexor, back into your hamstring stretch. Whereas if this was after the workout, we'd go into more static stretches, so we'd hold more of the stretches, because obviously that's when we want to cool down and stretch off. Our first exercise is going to be a hip thrust, and the reason why this is first is because it's a compound lift, which means it uses multiple muscles. So we want it at the start of our workout so we can get the most out of it and we can put more effort into it. So obviously the hip thrust is probably one of the better ones for growing your glutes, but only if it's done correctly. By that, I mean it's slow, it's controlled, we're actually engaging the glutes, and we're not just being an ego lifter, just throwing the weight up, which a lot of women do because they think more weight is going to grow the glutes. And if I'm honest, it's actually the opposite, because what you're doing is when it's too heavy, you're just thinking about getting the weight up. Whereas when it's a little bit lighter, we're thinking about the engagement to the glutes. So that's exactly what we want to do, okay? So the setup is you want the bench right underneath your shoulder blades, and if you feel like it's too high, pop a plate underneath your bum so you're a little bit heightened. From here, your feet are nice and flat and the hip width, and they're in line with your knees, okay? So we've got a triangle in the knees. From here, what we're going to do is have our chin tucked and looking forward. We're going to bring our hips up and we're going to unhook the bar, okay? Then I want you to imagine that you're a piece of wood. So all the way down together, all the way up together. As you can see, my bum is not dropping. Everything is moving together. Then we're pausing at the top, we're nice and slow on the way down. Pause at the top, slow on the way down. on. Last one. Oh. And that's how you should feel. You should leave the set with your glutes on fire and needing to take that rest, okay? That's how you know that you're training with the right intensity. Next exercise is going to be an RDL, which is our hinge movement, but you can also do stiff leg deadlift, you can also do single leg RDL, you could do a good morning, but I like RDLs, so that's exactly what we're going to do next. And again, that's more of a compound lift, so we're trying to keep it quite high in our program. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And the main tips for this is make sure that you've got it on the hooks instead of on the floor, because then what that allows us to do is use less energy to get it off. So we're literally going to pick it up, bring it back. Again, flat shoes or no shoes. We're going to roll them shoulders back, that chest nice and high. Then again, we're going to think about someone's got a band around your hips. So pushing the hips back, keeping that back nice and straight. Core nice and tight. Push, 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 push. Hamstrings pull. We're back up. So control, controlling, controlling. Gets rid of any imbalances between your left or your right leg. So we're going to do Bulgarian split squats. And Bulgarian split squats is something that a lot of people don't like to do and a lot of people don't do, but honestly, they are such a good exercise for your glutes, for your legs. I like to opt for the Smith machine just for a little bit more stability, especially if you're someone that's quite not good with balance. This is honestly so much better because obviously it's a little bit more supported. It keeps you structured, it keeps you in place. So let's go. So what we're going to do is go underneath the bar, foot is on the floor, bringing that foot backwards and unhooking. What we want to imagine is we're pulling the leg down and pushing through the foot that's on the floor. We don't want to bring our weight back into this back foot. We want to think about this front foot doing all the work. And then switch. See, my right leg is a lot stronger, so this will help my left leg obviously build up the same strength as the right one. Oh. Okay, next is going to be hamstring curl, and hamstring curl is basically an isolation exercise. An isolation exercise basically means that we are isolating one muscle at one time. So hamstring curl, leg extension, glute kickback, something like that, but they are still vital to be in your program. Again, just to help that muscle grow even more, because obviously your hamstrings are hit within like your RDLs, within your hip thrust, but they're also hit alongside other muscles. Whereas in a hamstring curl, we are isolating just the hamstring curls. It has to work on its own. So that's what we're going to do now.
Just to recap, if you want to build your glutes, you have to train like you want to build your glutes, okay? If you're training like a wet lettuce, you're seriously not going to build any sort of muscle, specifically not your glutes. But you want at least 2 leg sessions per week, making sure that you are hitting every single muscle within the legs. Obviously, you want to be making sure that every single rep is slow, is controlled, you're adding pauses, you're adding tempo, you're actually really focusing on the glute engagement and obviously making sure you can feel the muscles that are being worked, okay? And you want to make sure that you're warming up properly, because warm-ups are so vital, specifically if you've been sat down all day, because if you think about it, if you've been sat down, all your muscles, all your joints, everything is really, really tight. So if you went straight into a squat, you're not going to get the right range of movement. You're probably going to injure yourself, and then you might just fuck everything up. So that's not what you want to do. Okay, so making sure that you are taking 10-15 minutes just to warm up the glutes, the hips, the abductors, just so you can get the most out of each and every single exercise. Then you want a hinge movement, you want compound movement, you want hip thrust, you want single leg movement, you want isolation movements. All of them combined will really, really effectively build your glutes. But if you're just currently going into the gym, flying around, changing your program every single week to different exercises that you've seen on TikTok, on Instagram, then you are seriously not going to grow. Okay, you want to be sticking to the same program for at least 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer, and making sure that you are progressively overloading as the weeks go on by adding weight, tempo, reps, pauses, just making sure that you are challenging your body every single week. Okay, so don't start being a program hopper just because you get bored, because that is not how muscle grows. Okay, hopefully this video has helped you. Make sure to drop me a like and a subscribe if you did like it, and if you've got any kind of comments or ideas, please just pop them down in the comment section, just so I know what kind of things I can bring to YouTube and what things you kind of want to see, because this is where I can talk for longer and obviously give you longer form content. So obviously I'd like to do more of that. But yeah, speak soon. Bye.